So as many of you may know, this afternoon's topic is milk. And we will definitely be sharing some of those Ayurvedic scientific points about milk and why whole milk and why not low-fat milk and why vitamin D milk isn't, necessarily the thing you should be running and looking for. And, how to prepare milk in order to help, digestion, sleep, and so on. So we'll be going through that very technical aspect, even learning a couple of home remedies. We'll also be looking at the effect of milk, like on your mind and your spirit. Like, what's the experience of drinking milk? What's the difference between drinking cold milk and hot milk? And why would you choose one as opposed to the other? What would be the times when you would choose one and choose another? But we also like to reflect on even cows, how sweet, how nourishing their presence are. And, as I was thinking about it, many of the substances which Ayurveda speaks about as being so healing, when you read the Indian scriptures or see Indian rituals in process, you say, hey, wait a minute, those are the same things. If you've ever been to a Shiva temple and seen Abhishek, they're pouring this cool milk on Shiva, in my mind I think, well, maybe that's because they always say that Shiva is very fiery, so maybe he likes that cool milk to be cooled. In the same way, things like turmeric, it's such an integral part of so many rituals. But as you study Ayurveda, you see, oh my goodness, this is like one of my best friends in my whole life to be eaten daily, great for people with colds, but that's not today's topic. And, milk, we see it in so many, we read milk is like in poetry, it's sort of an image of something that's cool and nourishing, which is actually an image that's so true to its qualities in terms of Ayurveda. I had a few more examples in mind, but they seem to have evaporated into the afternoon and not be important. So I'd like to introduce now our first speaker, Shunya Pratichi Mathur. And the first thing I'd like to say about her is that she grew up in a home with a cow, or maybe cows plural. And she's a great lover of cows and of milk. And, when you grow up with that very intimate relationship with milk, many of us, we've probably all grown up with milk. Just to date myself, I grew up with, milk bottles and the milkman coming rattling down the street. Other people grew up with the cartons of milk. Other people grew up with the questions of, should I be having the low-fat milk or the... Some people grew up with the sweetened condensed milk. Some people grew up with, I'm surely lactose intolerant. Maybe I should be having soy milk. I think we all have a relationship with milk somewhere or other along the way, whether it's drinking turmeric milk, haldi doodh at night, or it's pouring that milk on your cereal in the morning. Milk has been with all of us. And so, Shunya Ji, with her, not only with her love of cows, but of course, then when you grow up drinking that absolutely fresh milk, it makes you even more highly attuned to, what is it that I'm getting from this milk? Then when your grandfather is an Ayurvedic doctor and a healer of souls and spirits, watching how does he give milk to people to nourish their health. So this is the tradition she grew up, probably running to the kitchen at her grandfather's instruction, bring milk for this person. Because milk is also one of the anupans, with all Ayurvedic medicine, there's something that you're supposed to take it with. It might be with milk, it might be with water, it might be with honey. So everywhere the circles come back to milk. Milk always stays in the center of the picture. And then Shunyadi was, after that, running a successful practice here, but patients of hers, like myself, persuaded her that she really ought to be teaching at school, because a consultation with her was such a great lesson in Ayurveda, and we're very glad that it turns out that's what she was actually being trained to do from childhood. So I'll introduce Julia Patichimatur, our head teacher here at Vedika.
Our relationship with our animals also shows what kind of human beings we are. We are grateful to them. She's a mata, and she's also called Kamadhenu, the giver of every possible valid desire that we as human beings can have. Putrarti labate putram, the one who wants a child, the sterile couple, all they have to do is ask the cow and drink her milk, drink her butter, drink her yogurt. Abhiji will explain that is these her gifts are the best gifts to fight sterility. Dhanarthi labate vashtam, the one who wants money, they can also keep cow, and through her gifts she's just giving. She's eating grass and she's giving so many things. She's giving milk, she's giving ghee, she is giving, her urine. It is medicinal, it is so useful. This is not the class on cow urine, but the cow urine, from antibacterial to anti-cancer activities it has. And her gaume, her dung, even her stool, it has so much purification ability as well as fertilization ability. If we are fortunate to have fresh cow dung where our herbs are growing or where our vegetables are growing, they will never need any artificial fertilizer and everything will be so abundant. I was reading a very well researched article by the Department of Agriculture in India, and they said that I don't remember the unit, but it was a very small unit of natural soil, fertilizing soil. It has about 1 million microorganisms. But when we add cow dung as a fertilizer, it has 5 million microorganisms. So you can imagine how rich the soil becomes for the farmer. So this cow, she eats the grass and then she gives back 5 million times more abundance back to the soil that gave her the grass. And so the person who has the cow becomes wealthy, becomes wise, and becomes truly healthy. And because Bade Baba had this Sadharan Dharma Sabha, as Hemaji informed us, that it dealt with universal values. And therefore, Arogya Mandal, because health is a universal value, we have to be healthy. It is our dharmam to be healthy. It is our dharma. It is not some by the way thing that, oh, by the way, I will just pop some pills. No, we are here to be physically healthy, mentally calm, and spiritually elevated. So for the physical body, health is the value system. And for that, cow and cow seva, taking care of the seva, keeping a seva, and cow donation was also very important. So one of the things that we did in our ancestor organization, you can say, was that if there was a farmer who was suffering due to epidemic or due to lack of rain or due to some other problem, then the community collected some funds and gave a cow. Because once we gave one cow, we knew that everything will come to this person, including food. Because morning, evening, she will eat grass and she will give some wonderful milk. And that milk will be complete nutrition in itself. Abhiji will give you those shlokas, those beautiful Sanskrit shlokas, which say that in 1 cup of milk, what all you will get, you will be amazed. So, from food to wealth to spiritual protection, because in this Kamadhenu cow, it is our belief, the Vedic belief, that in such a supreme animal who is just a giver, after she dies, from her teeth to her nail to her hair, everything is utilized in medicine. So she just continues to sacrifice herself for the human being. So that is why we call her Ma, because that is what mother does. She doesn't keep a list. She just gives. In every culture, that is mother's nature. So 7 mothers are recognized by the Vedas. The first mother always is the biological mother. No? The second mother is the Guru Ma. Say your Guru is a mother, female, or your Guru's wife. So either Guru Ma or Guru Patni. That is the second mother. Third mother is this Dhatri, the nurse. So much importance is given to the one who is not just babysitter or something. No, anybody, usually Dhatri would be the one who will look after you from birth. Sometimes if the mother died, she would even give you the milk. So she is considered mother. Then Brahmani, the wife of the knowledgeable spiritual teacher Brahmani, the priest's wife, is also a mother. Then another mother is this Mahi, Prithvi or Earth. Earth is considered as mother because she gives us constantly. So we touch her feet in the morning. All my students do that. And then the mother on earth, to represent the earth, who is there? Dhenu or the cow mother. So among the 7 mothers, she is a mother. So we say that, why are you crying if you don't have your biological mother? You have earth mother, you have cow mother, and so goes. You have your Guru Ma or you have Guru Patni, Guru's wife. You go to them, they will give you the same love. So that is also mother. And Hemaji mentioned, I really loved it when Hemaji talked about concepts of milk, from cow milk to powdered milk. That was like such a comment on our times, right? And we may not need vitamin D milk because our Vedas explain that the cow is unique. The cow has this Suryaketu Nadi, all these energies, this prana. The dead person is there, prana is everywhere, but they cannot absorb anything. They cannot utilize the great forces to become their minor forces, right? So human beings have certain nadis, certain channels. They can utilize the same sun, moon and air to be a certain kind of intelligence, certain kind of body. The earthworm has certain system to capture certain biological, psychic, cosmic forces. The cow, especially the special breed in India, she has this special Suryaketu Nadi along her spine. Just exposing her to the sun, she converts the sun directly into such amazing abundance that comes out in the golden hued milk that comes out of her. Now you see, we are all eating the sun ultimately. Whether we are vegetarian, we consume it through the plants. If we are non-vegetarians, first the secondary eaters eat the primary foods, then we are the tertiary, we take the sun's food through us, right? Plants convert photosynthesis, they take the sun and they convert it into food, right? But the cow, she just directly takes from the sun, and that is why one of the names of milk is not only Kheer and Dugdha common, but
Dr. Abhijit Jinde is an Ayurvedic physician from Pune. He has his own clinic. He also has his own Ayurvedic pharmacy. And as we watch him advising people on herbs and so on, we realize that yes, he's very dedicated to finding the purest, freshest herbs. If it comes from his pharmacy, okay, this hasn't been sitting there for 2 years and he's quietly like getting rid of. Things are very fresh, best quality. He is also a professor, associate professor?
Yeah, reader, associate.
He's a reader, associate professor at one of the universities in Pune. He teaches courses actually on Panchakarma. And he's designed several courses because he teaches actually in a number of places too, like the Vivekananda, Vishwananda Kendra. He's not just a practitioner, he's a lover of Ayurveda, he's a lover of yoga, he's a lover of people, and he also has a non-profit organization there that he's helping with some teaching and humanitarian work, and he has a beautiful family and beautiful daughters, and I don't know when he has time to do all of this, but he always seems very cool, calm, and collected. And as I said, to somebody, he's a very popular teacher here at Vedika. In fact, he returns not just because Srini is, somebody that she's known for many years, but by, I would say, popular demand from the students.
They would come to India and get him.
I would like to start with, we will be saying certain qualities, specific qualities which are mentioned regarding milk in Ayurveda, and also there are 8 different kinds of milk or milk from 8 animals which are used as a medicine in Ayurveda. Some of those I will be sharing with you, the qualities of those milk. But as I say that when this milk is not only used as a food, as a part of daily food intake, but also as a medicine, the reason is quite clear in terms of Ayurvedic fundamentals of choosing something as a medicine. Okay, what Ayurveda says is a good edible thing or a good vegetable or a good fruit or a good drink can work as a medicine if it has 4 qualities. One, it should have multiple good gunas, good properties. It should have many qualities so that it can be balancing to our system. Okay, it can be balancing to our 3 fundamental physiological entities, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So that thing should have many properties. Second thing, it should be able to use in different forms. So we can be able to use that thing in different forms. Like for example, if there is one thing which can be only applied externally but not consumed, so it has limitations. Or something which you can only consume but not apply externally. But milk is used for drinking, can be installed in nose, can be put in eyes, can be used as enema, can be used externally in form of lepas, even bathing with milk. I mean, Ayurveda has mentioned many different ways how the milk can be used in the form of medicine. So it has that quality also, that in so many different ways it can be used. That's why it is accepted as a medicine, not only as a food. Third thing, it says that anything which is having abundance, I mean availability should be there. So milk is available everywhere. Milk is available. There should not be any scarcity of milk, or it is not going to be extinct like the extincting herbs in the forest. So definitely milk is not going to be facing this problem anywhere in future. We will take care that we will get good quality milk, and we have cows. So that is the reason why the therapeutic benefit of milk is too much, and Shuneji will be telling you some more about how it is used as a medicine in different diseases. So I will be only sharing with you the first part regarding the properties of milk. And it says the first thing about milk is it is Jeevaniyam. Jeevaniyam, the one which gives life, longevity. There are only 3 or 4 herbs or things in Ayurveda I cannot count 3 or 4, but few which are mentioned to be having this quality, the one which gives long life. So milk is Jeevaniyam, which gives long life, which gives quality life, which gives longevity. The second property of milk is it is Bruhaniyam, something which is nourishing. When we say nourishing, it is always in front of our eyes, something fat, protein, okay. Protein fits to milk, that is okay. Fat also fits in milk, that is okay. But Bruhaniya is something which actually nourishes you to all the 7 tissues. All the 7 tissues. We consider that the body is made of 7 different tissues, okay. Blood, muscles, bones, nervous tissue, and the shukra, or which is the reproductive organs like sperms and ovum. So all these 7 dhatus are nourished equally, and that milk is having that quality of bruhan. The third important quality is vrusha. It is the one which has a very strongest and immediate effect to improve shukra. Shukra means the semen, or it is important to improve and has a fast effect to show virility, increase in virility. That's why, as you mentioned, that it is a best medicine, or it is a best choice to improve fertility. So, bruhan, vrusha, jivanyam, and further it says that it is very soft. It creates softness in the system. Now, when I say softness, it reflects on the skin, it reflects in the hairs, it reflects in the tissues, it reflects in the digestive system, it reflects in the colons. That is how it has an effect we call virechan. It clears the bowel. The milk clears the bowel. Because of this softness in the colons, it just gives a good lubrication to the colon, and it helps to clear the bowels. So this softness is very important. One of the important properties of milk. According to the concept of taste and the post-digestive effect, milk is madhur, sweet in taste. There is a concept of that every food or item we have after digestion also becomes into some form of taste. Okay? So milk again after digestion becomes sweet. So it will have the effects of all sweet or madhur qualities, and it will show that effect in the body. By potency, it is cold. It is shita. This coldness is quite useful to keep the aggravated or sometimes increased pitta and vata to balance. Okay? And in case of the kapha dosha, because of the bruhan quality, it improves the kapha in the system. It gives strength to the system, it gives nourishment, it increases body weight. Okay? And it is very useful to give the most important aspect of our system, and that is immunity. It is said to improve oja. Immunity in Ayurveda is mentioned under a concept called oja. And we believe, the concept defines that oja or immunity is the essence of all 7 tissues, is the best part of all 7 dhatus. So this best part, which is the oja, is responsible for our immunity. And milk directly enhances or replenishes or nourishes this oja. So immunity and milk are very important relationship. Now in case of cow's milk, as compared to the other animal milk, cow's milk is said to be the best. It is said to be the best because it is not very heavy to digest. As compared to the buffalo's milk is very heavy to digest. And I feel envy that you are really enjoying cow's milk here, all in US, and slowly in India, everywhere, buffalo milk has been taken over. So I feel unfortunate sometimes that we don't have that much cows used, and that is really unfortunate back home. But you're really lucky that you have cow's milk. I won't go into detail of how the cows are raised, that's a different issue. But at least you are enjoying the benefit of cow's milk, and that is good. Goat milk is slightly heating. It's slightly heating, and it has, along with the sweet taste, it is slightly astringent. Okay, you understand the astringent taste. And because of this combination, goat milk is said to be balancing for all 3 doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. And that's why goat's milk is best valued as a medicine, even the cow's milk. So goat milk is used in many disease conditions like tuberculosis, um, and even conditions where there is poor digestion, the liver is affected, the digestion is bad. Okay, this condition goat milk is very useful. Another milk which is can be used is camel's milk is many a times used, but it is slightly saline, slightly salty in taste, and it is again heating. Camel milk is slightly heating. There are mention of other animals' milk also, but these are the one which are can be used and commonly consumed: milk, buffalo, and goat. Uh, Therapeutically, there is again role of some human milk, which we will be explaining in terms of some eye diseases and all that are they are also used. So as a whole, you can see that the properties are something which everybody needs. Everybody needs strength. Everybody needs nourishment. Everybody needs good immunity. Everybody needs lubrication in the system. Everybody needs a good state of long life, longevity. So that's how milk is a complete wholesome food itself. Okay, so it itself can be a good food because no other food entity can give all these properties. The package of this cannot be packed in any other food product or food recipe. So it is a whole food in itself. So that's why milk is praised a lot, and milk is an elixir for human beings, and it should be consumed in a proper manner, in a proper quantity. The reason why I mention in proper manner, proper quantity is, as I say, that milk is nourishing, it is slightly heavy, sweet, and lubricating. It needs good digestive fire to digest it. It needs good digestive strength. So consuming milk in excess or in cold form, okay, can not be well digested by the digestive fire. And if anything which is such nourishing is not digested, will convert into some toxins which will remain in the system undigested and create conditions of disease. So boiled milk is generally what is recommended in Ayurveda, and boiled milk makes it good to digest, easy to digest, and the boiling should be at the right amount. And a stage before it actually starts boiling, it should be stopped. It should not be excess boiled or excess
Continuously
boiled or boiled many times. Okay, it is said that if it is excess boiled, it again becomes very heavy to digest.
Pasteurization.
Okay, so that is an important thing what Ayurveda has mentioned, that not boiling, using it in direct raw form is again heavy to digest. Excess boiling can again give the same results. It will be heavy to digest. So both way excess is wrong. I mean, not having it boiled and having it excess boiled. So another thing was mentioned was regarding the milk which is used as a drink. Okay, we have many options of drinks: water, milk, wine, and some juices or whatever it is. But the best is after warm water, the best is milk. And the use of milk, particularly after food, is said to be the best for people who are fatigued, who are tired, after excessive strenuous work, after physical exertion, after exercise, after excessive exposure to sun. So that drink is the best drink after your food, milk. And this is because it helps to give excess nourishment, and the milk itself, when combined with the food, gives more nourishment, more kind of replenishment of whatever the body has lost in this excessive physical work. So there is a term called Shramahara. It is best Shramahara. Shrama means fatigue. Hara means the one which takes away the fatigue. So instead of reducing fatigue with some glass of wine, yes, milk is the best option. Or reducing fatigue with some other form of drinks, milk is really something really good to take your fatigue away. And yes, when I say Shramahara, all sportsmen need that. Why should a sportsman should go for a protein drink with eggs and all those artificial things in it? A milk with sugar candy would be the best option for that. And there are some good herbs which can be added to milk and which will give more energy restoration after good sports. So in a way, in form of drink also, milk is very good. The another way, another place where milk plays a very important role is the vehicle. It acts as a vehicle to many of medicines. As you had mentioned that the herbs are mostly given with honey, water, milk. Okay, and milk is said to be the best adjuvant and the best vehicle for certain medicines, particularly sleep disorders, where you need good sleep. Then the medicines taken with milk acts more nicely. So it is called anupana, something which is taken with the medicine. So milk is again useful in that way. Yeah, one more important point is it is said to be a very good medhya. Medhya means something very good for mind, which improves intelligence. So it nourishes the mind, it gives the tranquility to mind, improves the sattvic qualities of the mind. So that is again a very good quality of milk. And along with it, a very unique word is used in the shloka, and it says it is manaskaram. So it is something which is good for your mind, manaskar. So it improves the good qualities in your mind. It reduces the agility in your mind. It reduces the some disturbances in your mind. So you can see physically and as well as on your mind, milk is such a beautiful thing. When that cold milk is more heavy to digest, and there is one property mentioned in Ayurveda which is called abhishandi, a substance which creates more secretions, unwanted watery secretions in the system. So if milk is consumed in cold state, it creates this kind of effect. So there will be excess water secretion in the system, excess fluidity in the system. So cold milk is more abhishandi, is more heavy to digest. And on the other hand, a lukewarm milk or milk which is pre-boiled and then brought to room temperature will be obviously much healthier. It won't create this excess abhishandi property in the system, and it will be easily digested. So cold milk has a therapeutic role in certain conditions, which Shunyaji will explain when she tells you more about the therapeutic use of milk in certain conditions. Cold milk is used only in those conditions, but a healthy person should not have chilled or cold or iced milk every day.
So I know milk and salt is Virudahara incompatible foods, and you had just mentioned that drinking a glass of milk after eating a meal was a good idea for someone who's trying to nourish their body or bodybuilding. Or so can you should you wait a while before you have that milk after your meal?
That ahar or the complete ahar according to Ayurveda should be having all 6 tests. Okay, so when I say all 6 tests, so there will be madhur also and there will be milk also. The concept of not adding milk with salt is to be considered in terms of proportion. Whatever salt you will be adding in your meal would be required for taste. It won't be salty. right? You're not eating something salty like fries and crackers or pickles, which have more salt. So if the food has this kind of food products like pickles, then of course milk should not be taken together. So the concept of not adding milk and salt together should be considered in terms of proportion. Regular food will not have more salt unless it has pickle, unless it has papad. Like there is a preparation called where a lot of salt is used. So excess salty food and milk may not go together. Yeah.
So milk, you learned about its wonderful qualities. One of the things that is really relevant for us at Vedika Global, why we bring up the topic of milk, is because I think our milk is being taken away from us. One is that. And we are beginning to think that we can replace milk with anything white, as in soy milk, as in almond milk. But almond has its own properties, soya bean has its own properties, cow milk has its own properties, goat milk has its own properties, as Abhijit showed you. Sheep milk or camel milk, they have their own properties. And so we don't want to have this confusion. If we think that we can possibly benefit from cow milk, then we have to learn how to learn about its qualities and benefit from it. As Abhijit only briefly alluded, but it was loaded, as to how we treat our cows. That is a very important issue that we can talk about in the Q&A session. But really learning this information here at Vedika Global in concentric circles has to become a movement for protection of cows and our natural right to have raw milk and to take it home, boil it and drink it. Because there are agencies which declaring that it is illegal to have raw milk. And farmers who are raising cows and consumers like us and many people at Vedika Global who are getting this milk, fresh milk from the happy grass-fed cow, wonderful elixir, as all those qualities that Abhijit mentioned, those wonderful qualities. We bring home that milk, we have that same milk here at Vedika, we boil it, we do all sorts of things with it. That milk is considered unhealthy, whereas all the other unhealthy things are sneaking past the agencies. So we can sit here in an ideal bubble and talk about the cow and the cow milk, but we must not forget that we have to first know why we want it. The education is an important part, and know that we cannot simply sit by and substitute our cow milk from a healthy cow just because somebody decided they could press something out of a plant and then sell it to us as milk. And it's really interesting that ever since milk substitutes entered the industry, just around that a theory started floating around that drinking milk is artificial for human beings because milk is meant for the calf. If we just look at history from Africa to India to Europe, then human beings and cows have had a symbiotic relationship. And we have, from that point of view, human beings benefited from every possible animal on the planet and every possible plant. So to somehow focus in on milk and say that it is not meant for human consumption is almost like creating some kind of a theory around it which is not sustained by evidence. And along with letting go of that milk, we have let go of all its benefits for us, because as Abhijit reminded us, there are not many things that are Jeevaniya. We are going to spend millions of dollars in research trying to not age as fast as all of us are aging. Now 20-year-olds have joint pains. Lupus is like, do you have lupus.com, on billboards. What kind of life are we living? And we can't drink our own milk, ordinary milk. We can't bring it home because it is a crime. So what times are we living in and how far are we from our milk? That is the question. And the milk that is out there, before we go and grab it, we should question it. And Abhijit was discussing with me before the Sangha started. He showed me, his research on the shloka where Ayurveda has clarified that, boiling milk beyond a point is like poisoning it, changes start occurring in it, it becomes heavy to digest. Well, that's the pasteurized milk. Whereas in our case, we take the raw milk, we bring it to a quick boil, we stop, we drink it, and none of us at Vedika students, how many of us are sniffling and have phlegm and allergies? People who have allergies start becoming better. That is the good quality of good milk. So this is not just a case of, oh, here are some good things. I would like you to contemplate more. And that's why when back in ancient India, my great-grandfather was trying to revive Ayurveda yoga and especially Ayurveda among the people, because they were forgetting what was their heritage. Now Vedika Global is trying to revive the same heritage, because this knowledge belongs to all of us human beings. We have a right to our milk, do we? What do you think? Yes. And we don't need anyone to tell us what kind of milk we should have, with what kind of additives. Because Abhijit, what was the shelf value of the milk that sells in Europe? How many days does it spoil in?
The ultra heated technique, which is the most highest way of pasteurizing it, stays for 90 days.
90 days.
Nice.
So are we like sipping plastic? And what's the shelf value of the average milk that sells at stores?
15 days.
15 days.
The regular pasteurized.
Any milk worth its milkhood should spoil in a few hours in this heat. Because only something that dares to spoil can be eliminated from our body. But something that resists spoilage is a permanent liability for our body. Do you realize that? Similarly, when we eat seedless fruits, for example, what kind of seed will it give to us? If it doesn't have reproductive tissue, shukra, it cannot give us. So our food is being messed, and milk is one of them. And Ayurveda declares food as the most important ingredient. There is a concept of Panchagavya. In Panchagavya, we use milk, we use ghrita, we use urine, we use its dung, and we use its, did I say milk? Dadi, the yogurt. These 5 things together become Tridoshahar, balance Tridoshas, remove poison from the system, improve heart disease, remove chronic fevers, detoxify the system. And in Ayurveda, in India, from Panchagavya soaps to Panchagavya Ghrita to Panchagavya tonics, everything we are having. But then the source of all of this, the cow, at least in the Panchagavya places where it is being made, they are really well looked after. But unfortunately in India today also, cows have now started receiving injections. So this is not about America or India, it's about the kind of commercial and crazy, delusionary thinking that has taken over our food providers, that industry. So we have to begin thinking for ourselves. I am going to teach you some home remedies. I'll teach whatever I can cover, but I would expect that you would try to find out local farms, support the local farmers, get raw milk, boil it every day, take small portions and make that trip, make that commute, make that money investment to get the best milk for you, and that may be the best anti-AIDS, anti-cancer, anti-depression, anti-acidity, and anti-weakness, anti-exhaustion therapy you could do for yourself.